Where's mine?
Exodus 8. This is the second plague, frogs. What was the first plague, Ezekiel?
I don't remember.
The Nile turned into blood. All the water in the whole land, even the water in the pots, turned into blood. Okay? And at the end it said they had to dig wells to get water. The second plague of Egypt.
Want to follow along in the kitchen?
No, you stay right here. This is verse 25 of chapter 7. 7 days passed after the Lord had struck the Nile. Now we have chapter 8, verse 1. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go to Pharaoh and say to him, 'Thus says the Lord, let my people go, that they may serve me.'" See, it's not time to look at the foldout.
I know.
Okay? It's time to follow along.
I found.
Verse 2. Read verse 2.
Why verse 25? Chapter 8.
No, that's chapter 7, verse 25. Okay? So this section, the second plague, frogs, starts at the end of chapter 7. Okay? So chapter 8, verse 2. Focus on the Bible right now. So
But the question right there.
I know, that's chapter 7, verse 25. That starts the second plague section. Okay? And then it goes right to chapter 8, verse 1. Already read verse 1. Can you read verse 2, son?
Verse 2. But if you refuse to let them go, behold, I will plague all your country with frogs. Why do you add this verse 25 here?
Because this section, the second plague, it begins at the end of chapter 7. Okay? And it continues on to chapter 8. Verse 3. The Nile shall swarm with frogs, which shall come up into your home, and into your bed chamber, and on your bed, and into the house of your servants and your people, and into your ovens and your kneading bowls. Verse 4, the frogs shall come up on you and your people, and on all your servants. Verse 5, and the Lord said to Moses, say to Aaron, stretch out your hand with your rod over the rivers, over the canals, over the pools, and cause frogs to open the land of Egypt. Verse 6, so Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt. Verse 7, but the magicians did the same by their secret arts, and bought frogs on the land of Egypt. Isn't that interesting? So these magicians made the problem worse. Okay? Why can't the magicians get rid of the frogs? Because Papa God brought the frogs. They're not as powerful as Papa God. All they could do is do fake frogs. Verse 8, then Pharaoh called Moses and Aaron and said, entreat the Lord to take away the frogs from me, from my people, and I will let the people go to sacrifice to the Lord. Verse 9, Moses said to Pharaoh, be pleased to command me what I am to entreat for you and for your servants and for your people, that the frogs be destroyed from you and your houses, and be left only in the Nile. Verse 10, and he said, tomorrow, Moses said, be it as you say, that you may know that there is no one like the Lord your... See, you got to follow on, son. The word is God. Follow on. Verse 11. The frog shall depart from you and your houses and your servants and your people, They shall be left only in the Nile. Verse 12, so Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh. And Moses cried out to the Lord concerning the frogs, as he had agreed with Pharaoh. Verse 13, and the Lord did according to the word of Moses. The frogs died out of the houses, and courtyards, and out of the fields. Verse 14, and they gathered them together in the heaps, and the land stank. Verse 15, but when Pharaoh saw that there was a respite, he hardened his heart and would not listen to them,
Why?
as the Lord had said, because he's foolish. Okay? Because Pharaoh's very foolish. He kept hardening his heart. The third plague. What's the third plague? Siki, what's the third plague?
It's gannets.
Gnats.
Gnats.
Gnats. That's like lice. Okay? We're going to find out about the third plague. Don't do that, son. Verse 16. Siki, don't do that. Siki. 1.
What?
Don't do that again, son. Okay, you understand? Okay? Don't do that, son. 1. 2.
What?
Okay? Don't do that.
What? I don't know what to do.
Why is this wet? Okay? You see that? That's wet. Don't touch it. Don't put your mouth on it, son. You understand? Okay? What's the third plague, Zeke?
Gnats.
Then the Lord said to Moses, say to Aaron, stretch out your rod and strike the dust of the earth, that it may become gnats throughout all the land of Egypt. Huh?
What's the plague?
Why is there what?
Look, the night plague, darkness.
These are all the plagues then.
Warning of the final plague.
Yeah.
That's the 10th plague. Warning
Yeah.
of the final plague.
Warning of the 10th plague. But right now we're on...
Look, and what happens? The Passover in Jesus.
Yeah, the Passover. We're going to read about that. We're going to read about it. Right now we're reading about the third plague. What's the third plague?
Gnats.
Gnats. Thank you. Verse 17. And they did so. Aaron, Ziki. Listen. You're done, okay? No more, son. No more, okay? Follow along. No. Okay? Go and follow along, son.
What do happen?
Huh? Okay, right now, you need to finish about gnats, finish reading, or go write 200 words.
No.
Okay? Finish reading the whole section about gnats, son.
Fine.
Verse 17. Verse 17.
The dust of the beast
Of the earth. Don't skip lines, son.
The earth, and there came gnats on man and beast of the dust of the earth came and there came gnats on the and there
Throughout.
gnats on man and best of the dust of the earth became gnats throughout all the land of Egypt to bring
Verse 18.
magic magicians tried by their secret arts to bring back gnats, but they could not solve their were not so man and beast personality and finger of God.
And the magicians, don't skip lines.
Magician statue. This is the finger of God. But Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he would not listen to them as the Lord had said.
The fourth plague. What's the fourth plague, son?
The fourth plague is swarms of fires. What's the worms of fires?
The word's flies, son. That word is flies.
What flies?
You know what flies are?
No, what swarms of flies?
Do you know what fly is? Son?
No.
A fly, a little insect that flies around, okay? And mama says, oh, those flies are so dirty, okay? A little fly. I'll show you a picture of a fly later, okay? This is swarms of flies, like big clouds full of flies. Follow along. Verse 20. Then the Lord said to Moses, rise up in the morning and wait for Pharaoh as he goes out to the water, and say to him, thus says the Lord, let my people go that they may serve me. Verse 21.
Could you have that back, please? The team you have on your shirt. I'm not going to eat it anymore.
Next time. Okay? Verse 21.
I can't wait to have it back. Please, I want it today.
Verse 21. Else, if you will not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies on you and your servants and your people, and into your houses, and the houses of the Egyptians shall be filled with swarms of flies, and also the ground on which they stand. Don't put your feet on baby brother's head, son. Verse 22. But on that day, I will set apart the land of Goshen, where my people dwell, so that no swarm of flies shall be there, that you may know that I am the Lord in the midst of the earth. Siki. Okay? Do not eat that strain. That's not food, Siki. Okay? Verse 23. Thus I would have put a division between my people and your people. By tomorrow shall this sign be. Verse 24. And the Lord did so. There came great swarms of flies into the house of Pharaoh, into his servants' houses, and into all the land of Egypt, the land that was ruined by reason of the flies. Siki, who lives in the land of Goshen?
God's people.
Thank you. Verse 25. Then Pharaoh called Moses and Aaron and said, follow on, son.
Ow.
Go sacrifice to your God within the land. Verse 26. But Moses said, it would not be right to do so, for we shall sacrifice to the Lord our God, offering abominable to the Egyptians. If we sacrifice offerings abominable to the Egyptians before their eyes, they will stone us. Verse 27. We must go 3 days' journey into the wilderness and sacrifice to the Lord our God as he will command us. Verse 28. So Pharaoh said, I will let you go to sacrifice to the Lord your God in the wilderness. Only you shall not go very far away. Make entreaty for me. Verse 29. Then Moses said, behold, I'm going out from you. Okay? Read verse 29, son. Because I asked you to read verse 29. Be careful with the Bible, baby. You're wrinkling. Okay?
But because I have trouble holding this.
Do you want the smaller Bible? We can switch. Here. Okay, verse 29. Come
on. Verse 29. Then Moses said, behold, I am going out from you, and I will pray to the Lord that swarms of flies may depart from Pharaoh.
Keep reading, baby. Keep finish. Come on. You're doing good. Keep going.
Pharaoh, I am going out from you, and I will pray to the Lord that the swarms of flies may depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. Tomorrow only let not Pharaoh deal
falsely is the word.
Falsely again by not telling the people go to sacrifice to the Lord.
Verse 30. So Moses went out from Pharaoh and prayed to the Lord. Verse 31. And the Lord did as Moses asked, and removed the swarm of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. Not one remained. Verse 32. But Pharaoh hardened his heart this time also, and did not let the people go. Over and over again, the same story. Tomorrow we're going to read about the 5th plague. Okay? Ziki, do you have any questions about chapter 9?
No.
Okay.
No, chapter 8.
Oh, you're right. Chapter 8. Okay. So, that's it.
It was 18 minutes and